How sweet it is. So sweet, loud of my headphones. To be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. I don't know why. I feel like the song's playing slow. I feel like it's like 95% speed, but maybe it's just my brain. This is your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. I said we sit back and relax. And hopefully by now you've poured yourself just a little bit of... I hit the buttons out of order. I messed up today. As we cruise into the weekend, hey, sorry again, did not stream this week. I'm here now. Maybe I'll talk about it later. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, this is your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We have, of course, toy news to talk about. We have movie news to talk about, TV news to talk about. But if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. I feel like a lot happens and then not a lot happens and all of a sudden a lot happens. It's been crazy. We got a new Peacemaker trailer that dropped. We got a new Superman trailer that dropped. We got a new Vampire Slayer dropping. We got all sorts of cool stuff. So, like I said, we'll talk about all that stuff tonight on the show. So if there's any topics that you want to talk about, make sure, of course, you go down below into the chat or wherever the chat is on your screen and you let me know what it is that you want to talk about. But, of course, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, it is me. It is me. I'm the problem. It's me. Again, thank you guys for being here on the show. I don't know what the comment was. I got a notification, Ultra, that there was a... Oh, that's why I censored it. It was like, I have the stream up on my phone, and it said that there was a censored chat that came through. So I was like, all right, I'll just hit to push it through. And it was you. But it's fine. It's fine. Ultra Carter in the house. Good to see you. You know, I am shocked. For once, I hit go live at like 8:15 on the dot. It may have been even a couple seconds earlier because there's a delay between when I'm recording and when you guys see it. But I hit it on the dot. And this is the one time nobody's here to see it except for Ultra. You're the only one in the chat. So thank you for being a witness to the one time I was on time. You're the real VIP. But let's get the shameless plugs out the way, of course. What was I just doing now? I was doing something else. Oh, that's what I was doing. Boom, bam, boom. Get the shameless plugs out the way. Nerdaffiliated.com, your one-stop shop for all things nerd affiliated. Links to the show, links to join the membership, links to the store, all that fun stuff. But of course, if you're into Ghostbusters, we have the Real Nerd Busters. I feel like that's not the most recent video, but it's all right. I'll fix that later. You can follow our Ghostbuster adventures here. You can head over to toolsandtalentprops.com, save yourself 15% using code HeyArcher. And like I said, there's videos and photos here. Ghostbusters Day 2025 is coming up. So this photo here will be changed at some point, but it's such a good photo, I don't really want to change it. This is one of those photos I really, just a sidetrack for a bit. Where you at? It was the end of the day, so it's probably down here. I would really like to frame this one, if I could. Like, blow it up to, I don't know, at least a 3-footer. I think that'd be fun. And this photo here It is cleaned up for like the graininess of my camera because I don't have like the best quality camera ever. Like I love my camera, but it's not, the stuff you buy now. So the graininess was cleaned up a bit, but the sun flare and glare on the screen, that's how it was shot. That's not added in after the fact. The only thing I probably changed here was a little bit of orange tint, but even that was pretty much in shot because this was the end of the day. It was already probably like 5, 6 o'clock. So, yeah, one of my favorites. If you do want to get in touch with us, of course, in a quicker fashion, you can hit us up on Instagram, Nerd Affiliated, and then, of course, the Real Nerd Busters as well. Did the link go through? The link still did. Oh, there it is. Boom. The Real Nerd Busters over on Instagram. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, I'm disappointed in you guys. I am disappointed. I was here on time. And only Ultra Carter got to witness it. Crazy. He said, don't ask Nerdy, the SOB, to play the trailer as he got copyright strike last week. It's true. I didn't get a full strike, but I got one of those, your video can't be monetized because of what you played. So yeah, we're scaling back the trailers, of course. From Walmart, I got the WWE Top Picks, the Jake Paul figure, and because I hate him so much for what he did before WWE, I had him get his ass kicked by Edge, Lilo Sky, Ken Shamrock, and more. It's funny. It's hilarious. K-Walk Comedy in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, on time. On the button. You also got another Edge figure from Makari. There you go. Patrick in the house. Good to see you. You going through that whole storyline. Love that. Dada Films in the house. Good to see you. So yeah, good times for all. So yeah, let's get into it. It's been a crazy week over on the nerd side of the world. We had a couple trailers drop actually this week, and one of them was a new Superman trailer. And I gotta admit, I'm not hearing a lot of buzz about this. I'm a little shocked. So my question I'm going to raise to all you guys is a question I didn't think was a real thing. I honestly was like, every time I hear this being said, I'm like, whatever, that's not true. Obviously, it's not true, but maybe it is true. Is superhero fatigue really a thing now? Is it really a thing? Obviously, the trailer is going to get some eyes on it. It's DC Comics, it's Superman, all that stuff. But as far as like scrolling through the nerd space of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, there's not a lot of Superman talk going on. So I'm curious to see what you guys think, if this trailer boosted your desire to see the movie, lowered it, you still don't care. I liked the first trailer, so seeing this one, it didn't get me any more hyped or anything. I was just like, all right, great, more footage. I thought it was fine. Now, what's interesting is, in a quick detour to box office recap, Sinners is still beating Thunderbolts right now, which I'm so ecstatic for, that's even a thing. That a original movie, no franchise, no anything, is beating out an MCU movie. To me, that's crazy. And I love that it's a thing. But once again, is that part of a larger story that people are kind of burnt out on the superhero thing? Or are people at the point now where they're like, I still care about superheroes, I'm just willing to wait until it's at home. I'm not willing to waste my time and go to the theater. So we'll see. And actually, I will make that full detour to box office recap, and then I'll get back to the comments. Looking at the year so far, Oh, it's out of order. I was like, Novocaine came out way before Sinners. So looking at total box office here in these two columns. Sorry, I like somewhat burped with my mouth open. I don't So Brave New World is at 415 worldwide. Sinners is at 290. Thunderbolts is at 277. So right now, I don't think, sadly, I don't think Sinners catches up to Brave New World. I would love to be wrong about that. Just like I was like, man, I would love to be wrong about a week 1 to 2 drop in the movie, which I was. So I don't know if it's going to catch that because I think it's really suffering on the international. You can see here internationally, Brave New World got 214, Sinners got 69, but domestically, Sinners has beat Brave New World. And it's smacking up Thunderbolts. So, once again, are we kind of tired of the superhero genre? Or is it more of like because of content like, Penguin, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Daredevil, Peacemaker coming back? Like, are we at the point where we're like going to a theater to see a superhero movie is kind of meh? I don't know, but I was shocked that I'm not seeing a lot about this movie. Let me jump over to the comments, see where you guys are at. Dave's Dimension in the house. Good to see you. Plead the fifth on Superman. Yeah, you have not been that crazy about the movie. That I know. I disagreed with you originally. And I think I even told you, and I've told most people here, I was more hyped for Thunderbolts than anything else this year so far. And in real time, Thunderbolts came out, and I was like, maybe I'll see it. And then I ended up saying how I was going to see it with my friend. After the fact. But if not for him wanting to see the movie, I'd probably be fine waiting till home release. And here's another thing. This might be the first time an MCU movie came out. Maybe Eternals, but even then I don't think I was that lax with it. This was the first time I was down with hearing about spoilers on an MCU movie. Like Anthony was giving us his review and I was like reading the spoilers, no problem. And then I think I even asked him like, what was the post credit? And then he told us, which is crazy. There's this weird button on YouTube. It says goal. What's goal here? Start a goal. Oh, like a super chat goal. Oh, that's cool. All right. I had no idea. I was like, what is that button? Am I getting? I thought I got another strike or something. It was goals. I don't have that on Ecamm, so that's why I'm not used to it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you're interested in seeing Superman, has the hype increased, decreased? You don't care? Let me know down below. But I know Dave said he's out. Not out, but you plead the fifth. Patrick saying hi to everybody. It's awesome. Everybody saying hi to each other. Patrick said, I see YouTube talking about the trailer. That's about it. Yeah. I wish I could remember what other movie. I feel like there's another movie where that happened, and then I ended up being kind of wrong as far as like how I was going to do. I feel like Barbie after a while was doing pretty good traction on YouTube. I feel like Minecraft is one that the YouTube buzz was pretty small, at least in what we watch, our demographic. But even on social media, I feel like the Minecraft buzz was pretty low. But in IRL, amongst kids, apparently it was booming. A couple of you mentioned that to me, and turns out that it's about to cross 1 billion. So there's that. Dave said, Superman trailer felt like a recycled Superman tropes. Nothing has me excited. I don't disagree with that. I really don't disagree with that. I think one of the interesting things about the trailer is he seems more edgy. And this is, he's kind of established in the sense that he has a suit, but it may be similar to, God, what was the Robert Pattinson Batman movie called? It wasn't The Batman. Was it The Batman? I know we had the cartoon, The Batman. It was The Batman. Okay. Yeah, The Batman was like a year 2 story. So maybe this one, similar thing. What I was telling my cousin though was, as much as I love as much as I love James Gunn, he's similar to J.J. Abrams, where at times he does copy paste from other things with his own kind of spin on it. And a lot of what I was seeing in the trailer, I was like, oh, is he borrowing from this movie or that movie? And is this going to be a very predictable plot? I don't know. I feel like they're going to do even the fact that the Fortress of Solitude gets attacked, I'm like, we've seen that now. We've seen Luther get to the Fortress of Solitude. What, Superman 2, the Superman Returns movie. He knew Superman was in Batman vs. Superman, so he might as well have gone to Fortress. Did he go to Fortress in that movie? He may have gone to Fortress in that movie. So we've seen it so many times. Them kind of like, I'm over that. But again, at times, it seems like JJ, well, they both do it. James Gunn does some copy paste shit. So we'll see. Marshall in the house, good to see you. If only sinners could do good in Asia. Oh, God, cheers.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Funny enough, I was explaining to Anthony some messaging in the movie about Asia, actually. And yeah, he didn't know about that. And that's why I love the movie. There's so many layers to that movie. Creativity from the Future in the house. Good to see you. The movies I'm interested in more this year are 28 Years Later. Yep. Mortal Kombat 2. I forgot that's this year. Predator Badlands. Oh, I'm surprised you're interested in Predator Badlands. Avatar Fire and Ash. I don't know. I'm not sure about Superman though. Yeah. I feel like a lot of us are on the same page. I feel like nobody's like, holy shit, I can't wait for that movie. Unless I was after the first trailer. I may have been. I may have some revisionist history going on right now. I really liked the first trailer, but I don't remember if I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. But I think Thunderbolts was still my number one. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Make sure you guys fact check me. Fact check me on that. Let's go to this interesting story. Let me pull up her Instagram here. There we go. I'm shocked by the subscriber count or the follower count, but at the same time, I'm not. So we got some news today, kind of out of left field, that Ryan Kira Armstrong. I was like, Ryan Armstrong? Drink again.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Yeah. Ryan Armstrong has been cast in Buffy. And we got this announcement here.
Has been hard, and there's been so many parts with like me being out of the country, and there was just sort of like one part of it that I just wanted to ask you, and I wanted to make sure that you were okay with.
Okay.
How do you feel about helping me save the world?
Good.
You want to be my chosen one? Will you stand by my side and save the world? Yeah. Ryan, we all love you. And from the second we all saw your tape, there was nobody else in our eyes that could do it, that we wanted to do it with. And I'm so excited to stand by your side and have you be my partner on this journey.
It's just so exciting. Oh my God.
So I hope it's a yes.
Yes. For sure, yes. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Welcome to New Sunnydale.
Thanks for having me.
Ryan, you've earned it. There's nobody else in any of our eyes. You are our chosen one.
So honored. Thank you guys. Thank you for trusting me. Yay!
Where's your dad? You want to tell him too?
Dad!
What do you think? Are you ready for this journey?
I just kind of overheard what was happening here, and I know that this is exactly where she's supposed to be right now, with you on this insane new journey.
I know this.
That dude just heard the cash register go off, just like. So Ryan was actually in Skeleton Crew. She was the girl in Skeleton Crew. She was actually apparently in a bunch of other things I didn't even realize. Sorry, to wrap up that thought, she's going to be the chosen one in Buffy. The reason they're phrasing it that way is the Buffy reboot is still going to have Buffy in it. So Sarah Michelle Gellar will still play Buffy, but now she has a new person to train to be like the next generation of Slayer, which will be Ryan here. So, pretty exciting. But I, looking at the video when that came across my timeline and seeing, the deadline and all the other stuff, I had no idea who it was. And then that's what I was reminded. Oh, that's the girl from Skeleton Crew. So I'm kind of shocked she only has 100,000 followers, but again, I think that kind of speaks to Skeleton Crew, the lack of hype for that. But scrolling down, she's, I guess, been in a bunch of other things that I just did not even notice. Nicolas Cage movie here. I saw she was in a It movie. She was in Guardians. Oh, Firestarter. There's that other. Oh, I don't know why I'm guessing. I don't know why I'm guessing. What was her last name? Ryan Armstrong? Yeah. Oh, began acting in 2017. Got it. Yeah, so this is Firestarter. I don't remember that at all. The Old Way movie, Skeleton Crew, like I said. So yeah, Firestarter, American Horror Story. She was in Tomorrow World. She was in Blackwood. Oh, she played a younger Antonia. Yep. So she's been in quite a few things. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of shocked that Buffy was coming back for. Well, not shocked that we're getting a reboot of Buffy, but shocked that Sarah Michelle Gellar was coming back for it. That to me was kind of out of left field. But at the same time, Freddie Prinze going back to do, I know what you did last summer. I'm like, the two of them are like, hey guys, let's take a break and do some reboot stuff. Why not? They're married, by the way, in case you didn't know. I feel like everybody knows that. But, I'm excited for her. I'm excited for the show. It's going to Hulu. I feel like we've been getting some good stuff out of Hulu. We've been getting some real good stuff out of Amazon. So I'm good with it. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Buffy. Like, are they going to, first of all, I hope they don't kill her off in like the first episode or something. Like, I don't think we need that. But I'm curious to see if they're going to like nerf her powers or her abilities, outside of just saying she's older. Like, I wonder if they're going to be like, oh, you're not as good or something. Or maybe it will just be like, hey, you literally need to train the next person because you will die at some point. I don't know. But I might have to go back and like actually watch all of the OG Buffy show because I did not watch it back in the day. I saw episodes here and there. I watched a lot of the first season of Angel. Much to maybe not your surprise if you're a regular listener. I wasn't allowed to watch Buffy, so that's why I didn't see it, but I did see Angel because my parents didn't know what Angel was. Similar to I was allowed to watch Hercules. I was not allowed to watch Xena. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm happy for her. Maybe we're not getting more Skeleton Crew. TBD on that. But yeah. That's all I got. That's all I got on that one. KO in the house. Good to see you. Blue Skeleton Crew sucks. Yeah. K-Walk says, I'm all about Buffy. Who else is coming back? Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, sadly, we won't get her sister because what's her name died in real life. Ryan Armstrong was was once nominated for Worst Actress in the 2023 Razzie Awards, but due to backlash over her age and being nominated, she was removed, and the Razzies themselves won Worst Actress. Really? That was a thing? For Firestarter. Wow, look at that. I didn't know about this. Interesting. All right. She was only 12 years old at the time. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. You know, sometimes with these actresses and actors, I wonder if they're like industry plants sometimes. Because they just get put into so many things, you know, at once, and it's like they're out of nowhere. Michelle Trachtenbaum, thank you. But we'll see. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm happy for her. I'm happy Sarah Michelle Gellar's coming back. But Sarah gonna die season 1 and pass it on. I hope that's not the case. Like I'm kind of like universally, I think we're all over that. We're kind of done with that. See, same Z's. She's just there to draw the OGs. Yeah. Yous have all the Slayers from end of season 7. Do you mean to use all of them from end of season 7? Didn't a couple of them die? Natalie Wood once got a Razzie and accepted it for the same performance she got an Oscar nomination for. Really? I don't know a lot about the Razzies. I mean, I know what they are, but I don't know a lot of history and who won and who was nominated. A list of all the people nominated for an Oscar and a Razzie. Let's take a look at that. Halle Berry won Worst Actress in 2005 Razzies for her role in Catwoman and accepted it in person. That's awesome. So here's a list of everybody who won both. I wonder what the number is here. Doesn't really say. Al Pacino won both. George Lucas won both. Kevin Costner won both. Brad Pitt won both. Kim Basinger. A lot, yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, yeah, Sandra Bullock. I feel like you have to. Tom Hanks. Yeah, you have to have a couple L's in your resume to get an Oscar. So that makes sense. And you're probably, oh, sorry, I was in screen sharing at that point. I apologize. Let me go back to that so you guys can see. Now it's not loading, of course. I feel like to win an Oscar, you got to have a couple L's under your belt. But you're probably getting a Razzie for the movie overall, not necessarily your performance in the movie. You know, so like I always go back to Christian Bale with Terminator Salvation. Awful movie. But he was the only one like acting in the movie. So I kind of give it a pass. And I'm like, he also had the infamous yelling thing, the yelling fit on the movie. So, yeah. Yeah. That's funny though that they retracted it for her. But yeah, good for them. Good for them. Why not? Why not? I guess sticking with Star Wars, why not talk about it? We had 2 Star Wars releases come out, and outside the hardcores, I don't see any conversations about it. And I actually made a post about it in terms of one of them. So May 4th, last week or 2 weeks ago now, we had Tales of the Underworld, right? Yeah, Tales of the Underworld come out, which is a sequel series to the original Tales of the Jedi, which then spun off into Tales of the Empire and then Tales of the Underworld. I watched episode 1. I'm not going to spoil it because just in case you guys end up wanting to see it, in case you forgot about it. Underwhelming. I'm like 1.5 episodes in the Asajj Ventress portion of it. And I'm like, And everybody I asked about the show said the Asajj Ventress portions were the best. The Cad Bane portions were not great. So I'm like, if I'm not even enjoying the best parts of it, what is a boy supposed to do? Now, the other thing that came out was, I don't want you guys to see spoilers just in case. Andor. We finally finished off Andor season 2. Now, you guys remember the first 2 weeks of episodes, because you got 3 at a time. I was out. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Everybody's saying the last 2 weeks were utterly amazing, like game changer. And people are saying this who actually did not like the beginning of this second season. So I would ask you guys, did you see Andor season 2? Did you like it? Did you like all of Andor? One of the things that bothers me about this whole thing is right now we're going to be trying to sell the idea that Andor is the best live action show, but you're asking everybody to tolerate 20 episodes of doo-doo to enjoy 6? It seems like a far stretch, and don't get me wrong. There's instances where, we'll say, oh, get through the first season. Like first season's bad of whatever show. But now we're like, get through the first season, get through half the second season, and just enjoy the second half of the second season, and then it's done. There's no more show. Like it's a tall order. It's a tall order. So I still kind of want to just see what happens. At this point, I might even just watch spoilers of it. I don't know. But outside the hardcores, I don't know anybody else who watched Andor. I don't know anybody else. Now, there was an interesting comment I saw today under General Kenobi's community section. Somebody said they actually liked Andor way more than Rogue One. They gave Rogue One like a 7 out of 10. Gave Andor season 2 like a 9 out of 10. So is that something you guys who have seen it agree with? Is that like a valid take? Because you guys know I love Rogue One. Rogue One's one of my top 3 Star Wars movies. So, I mean, I'm tempted, but like I'm also weeks behind. Like I don't want to sit there and bore myself with dialogue just to enjoy 6 episodes. But I gotta sit through another 12 potentially. I don't even remember where I left off of just crap. So I don't know. I haven't watched Andor, but I'll give it a watch in the future, but won't be as awesome as Terminator Zero, as the latter proves Terminator does better than Star Wars. Now I'm curious. Are we getting Terminator? What was it? Terminator Zero season 2. It's not coming back. Sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. So this is what happens, right? This is in 2024. No, as of now, no. That was ReZero. That's something all different. Zero Day. This says it is renewed. That one, yeah. The other thing says no. Here we go. It will be returning. Okay, all right. So this says it will be returning. Oh, there you go. All right, so I was wrong. It's just one of those where I'm like, I don't know a lot of people who watched it. I don't know a lot of content creators who talked about it. It just kind of sat there. But there are a few out there like you, Ultra, who really loved it. So where I was going with that originally was, you know, you think about Skeleton Crew, you think about Andor. There's all these shows that, like, yeah, small hardcore love, but if the masses aren't watching them, we're not really getting anything more after that. So Terminator Zero, I guess enough people watched it. You're gonna get season 2. Skeleton Crew, I guess, still up in the air. We're getting freaking Ahsoka season 2, which I did not see that coming at all. But you know, I guess some of these shows make more money than we assume. Ahsoka season 2, if we are getting the Terminator show, even Tales of the Underworld. Like, I didn't think Tales of the Empire did that well, critically or with viewers, but we got another season of it. So it could be one of those scenarios where, speaking about Disney, they're getting so much money on Star Wars as a whole and not spending as much money on like failed movies that they're just like, just make some projects, keep the cost down. We'll let you just do your thing. Maybe that's happening. For all we know. Really curious about Ahsoka season 2. Again, outside the hardcores, I don't know a casual person that watched that show. Zero. Dave said, respectfully, that's opinion. It comes down to what individual likes and dislikes. Haven't seen Terminator Zero, so I can't speak on it. I think Star Wars fans are jaded and not sure they want to invest in a show, given its hits and misses and failures. Yeah. That could be everybody, you know? Could be everybody. I do wonder that, like, for example, Daredevil, right? Daredevil, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, I wonder how they performed overall. Daredevil was getting, season 2 and 3 potentially shot at the same time. Don't know anything about Spider-Man. And X-Men 97 was greenlit for season 2 and 3. 2 was already like kind of written and in the works when Bo got fired. Season 3, I think the outline was like written, but they didn't start that one yet. And I think season 2 is next year. So, you know, there are some shows that we're getting sequels to, but I wonder how, you know, when you think about a show like X-Men, like X-Men was so popular and it's still taking them like 2 years to give us a sequel. Like Daredevil, Spider-Man, like a lot of these other shows, like I don't know if the viewership's that high. When are they going to start? Like, what's the threshold on that? Like to be successful on those shows, I guess, is what I'm really asking in this ramble I'm doing. Trying to gather my thoughts. It's just bizarre. You think about the shows that do get canceled, the ones that don't get canceled, and you're like, I don't understand. Are we getting another Agatha? Do you guys even remember? Did you even remember Agatha was a show until I said it just now? I don't know. A lot of casuals watched it though, from what I saw. Yeah. All right, shifting gears a bit, we'll go into some toy news and good old politics. Because it's in the news. So this was a crazy one last week. I saw this actually on Ghostbusters News. They were the first outlet to talk about it. And then I, of course, went to Hasbro Pulse and saw it for myself. So last week on, at this point, was it Saturday maybe? Hasbro took down all of their pre-orders. Every pre-order was marked temporarily unavailable. And since then, I checked, I believe yesterday. Yeah, yesterday they are back online. No coincidence. This was after they lowered the tariffs from 145% down to 30%. The pre-orders are back. Now, Hasbro has not come out and talked about what are their plans with any of this. Like, zero. And some other toy companies are talking about what they're doing. It's just interesting that Hasbro's not one of them. And being that they're a publicly traded company, that could be part of the reason why. In all honesty. I'm trying to see, where did I find this story, and I don't see it, and I can't remember where I found it. But here's what we'll do. Because I know he talked about it. Videos. Here we go. We're going to give a good old reaction here to our boy, Mad Hatter.
Pieces. Support this if you're a fan, obviously. And yeah, you guys know how to manage your own money, okay? You're all big boys and girls. Speaking of how to manage money, Super 7, sorry to say, has laid off seemingly many artists from their roster. One of them that I know personally, Kyle, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. I think he told me one time how to pronounce it, and I think I forgot, but it's Kyle W. Okay? I'll put his Instagram right here. Kyle is, he might be the main brain behind this, but he's definitely one of the big players behind the 2003 TMNT Turtles, which I'm very excited to get. I ordered them. I'm hoping they come any day. You know, I as I understand it, he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand, that was kind of like his baby or one of his babies. I know he's had a hand in Thundercats and things like that. And there are other artists, like I said, I just don't know them. I don't think I know them on a personal level. But it seems that, unfortunately, there were a lot of layoffs, and apparently it's tied to tariffs. Okay, if you want my opinion on it, I think that times were tough anyway. Okay, and sometimes when times get tough, and you know, the situation is, you can't keep the lid on the situation. Sometimes certain things give you an out. Okay, and not to say that everything is the cause of tariffs. It might be a mix, but the brass at Super 7 decided in their, you know, infinite wisdom or not wisdom to let go of, I guess, a slew of designers, which I don't know what it looks like there now. Like what's left at Super 7? Is there anyone left? I know Kyle was up there on the food chain. I had heard rumors that Brian Flynn is not controlling the ship anymore, that it's other people. I don't know. But there are a lot of things that are in question now. Like, moving forward, what does Super 7 look like? Like, what and we do need to talk about, because I know that there's a lot of criticism lobbied at that company from myself as well, in terms of like their product, the prices, and this and that. Some people will say this has been a long time coming. Some people, you know, will lament if certain lines stop. To me, I'm very, as you know, very invested in like that Thundercats line, even though it's got a slew of problems, but it's really the only place to go. Does that become a good thing? Does that line, you know, if Super 7 stops making Thundercats toys, does that license go? Is that free now? Can that go to somebody else and Maybe you get better toys. I don't know. And by
So he's right about a lot of almost everything. As far as like when he was like, people will say blank. Now, Hasbro is like Hasbro, Mattel 1 and 2, interchangeable by the day. Who's the bigger company? At this point, I might even say Hasbro's a bigger company because they own Wizards of the Coast, which is Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, that kind of stuff. So they make a lot of profit on that with very little overhead. Same time, Mattel owns Barbie. You have the Barbie movie. That's a lot of money as well, but that's a lot of overhead to do that. So you can go back and forth. You have a company like Super 7, though, where all they have is the toys. All they have is the physical product you buy. Now, a company like Hasbro might have the ability to absorb some of the tariff stuff. Maybe. But obviously we saw they did have a breaking point. And the breaking point was the 145, in which case they had to pause all their imports. A company like Super 7, though, they're not going to have the same threshold. They're not going to have the same ability to absorb X amount of dollars. Now, he's correct where, financials of Super 7 probably weren't good anyway, because we saw the prices of some of their figures, because they still have brick and mortar. Those are a lot of factors at play when you think about how successful a company is. Excuse me. It's a niche product, so there are a lot of things in the works here and a lot of questions. And I've wanted to message some people and I haven't, kind of out of respect, but I might have to do it just to get an idea of what's happening over there. But the other thing that came out today was the comments by the CFO over at Walmart. And if I can find that video that I saw earlier today, I will play that. We're going to have a commercial, I'm sure. Yep. By the way, guys, I have not been running ads on the live streams. So let me know if you've been enjoying that. For all you replay heads, sorry. You got to deal with the ads on there.
Sales and earnings growth in the latest quarter, but warning on its call that tariff pressures could mean higher prices soon, as early as next month. I'm joined now by John David Rainey, Walmart's CFO, alongside Yahoo Finance's executive editor, Brian Sozzi. Brian, take it away for us.
Thanks so much, Madison. John David.
Brian had that evil look on his face just now.
Always nice to see you here. So lots of headlines this morning on Walmart's call out of having to raise prices to offset these tariffs. I know you don't take this decision lightly. Can you talk to us, your thinking behind it, and then how much on average will prices go up at Walmart?
It's good to speak with you, Brian, and good to be on the show. You know very well we're wired to keep prices as low as we can for our customers. Everyday low prices is what we stand for. And we're going to keep prices as low as we can, as long as we can. But when you look at the magnitude of some of the cost increases on certain categories of items that are imported, it's more than what retailers can bear, it's more than what suppliers can bear, and so we'll work hard to try to keep prices low, but it's unavoidable that you're going to see some prices go up on certain items. And so we'll work to try to keep that as low as we can, and certainly look to try to gain share and be aggressive and play offense in this environment to keep prices lower than others. But given that you've got 30% tariffs on certain categories of items that are going to be imported, you're likely going to see some price increases go up there.
John David.
So he kind of keeps repeating that same talking point. And the reason I'm showing this to you guys is a company like Walmart saying that the tariff stuff is they can't absorb all of it is a huge red flag. Because if they can't do it, a company like Hasbro won't be able to do it. Super 7 won't be able to do it. Savage Crucible, Four Horsemen, Ramen Toys. These guys, Valaverse, they won't be able to do that. They can't do that. And we've talked about that before. Now, where people are getting things confused is they're like, well, the tariffs are down to 30%. What are you talking about? And people who would argue for the tariffs would say they're down to 30%. What are you talking about? First of all, it's not 30% on everything. There are still a lot of categories that have not moved since their initial numbers were put out there. Specifically in the realm of China when it comes to certain things being produced. So we're going to assume at this point that toys are categorized as 30% instead of the 145. The issue you have is, let's say you are Super 7 and you already towing the line of making a profit to the extent that you can meet payroll, pay rent, all that stuff. Let's say you were doing that before. The 30% is still higher than you were previously paying. The baseline before, I think, was like 20%. Let's use Google and find out. What were the China tariffs before Trump? So between 0 and 5 in 2018 and 20% in 2021. And when Joe Biden took Joe Biden took office. So that was one of the things that people were highlighting was like, well, Biden didn't change what Trump had put in when he was in office of the 20%. So even something like that, we did not previously talk about here on the channel. I didn't talk about it. I don't think any toy people were talking about it. But what we did talk about post-COVID was how the prices were going up on all the stuff we were collecting. And if you remember, I mentioned the comparison to the oil crisis back in the 70s when you had the empty gas stations, all that stuff was happening. The toy aspect of it, keeping it nerdy, was G.I. Joe was 12-inch figures at the time, ended up having to go down to the 3-inch figures, because they were trying to save money because it was costing so much to make the 12-inch figure, because fossil fuels help make plastic. So making that comparison back in that 2021 era, and now in hindsight that tariffs is a conversation, it kind of explains why we saw price hikes with McFarlane, with Hasbro, with WWE figures, Mattel figures, Hasbro probably being the most egregious. You started getting less accessories with your NECA stuff. You started getting lower quality figures from Super 7, like all these things were happening in 2021. So that makes sense. The 20% tariff off of previously 0 to 5, they had to kind of raise their prices. So now the things are 30, it is even more. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't consider when we talk about being a toy company and importing your stuff. First of all, you can't just turn the switch on and now they're coming out of Vietnam. Now they're coming out of somewhere else, which still does not solve the issue of made in America, for the record. But you can't just turn the switch on and now Hasbro or Super 7, or if we're talking about smaller companies, Ramen Toys, for example, or Valaverse, they can't just be like, all right, China, I'm done making toys with you. I'm gonna pick up the phone and make them in name your country. That is not how that works. But the other thing too is that when people think about tariffs, when it comes to importing stuff like toys, they don't consider that there's other people involved in this. You still have your shipping company, which is either your ocean freight. If you got the money, you're paying air freight. You've got your broker fees, the people who actually sign the paperwork and move things for you. You got your trucking fees. You have all these other people at play around the logistics of moving the product. Right now, the tariffs went from 20 to 145 to 30 temporarily for 90 days. If I'm a small company, I'm like, great, I got 90 days to get my stuff over that was sitting in a warehouse. You don't think that the trucker, the freight forwarding company, the broker, you don't think all of them are going to raise their prices so they can figure out who's going to get the golden ticket to get their product in that 90 days from A to B? People don't think about that. There was also a loophole that got closed where you had 0% on stuff under a certain amount that was mailed. and they got rid of that. So if you were a smaller company and that's how you're moving your stuff, now you have tariffs where before you didn't have any. So Walmart waving the flag today that they can't absorb these costs, even at 30%, was an alarm that people did not see coming, because people were very short-sighted and said 145, 30 is less than 145. We're doing great. There's more to the story than just the number. So with the Super 7 news, with Hasbro playing chicken this week with the pre-orders, and then with Walmart, who we buy our toys from a lot of times, well, the stuff that they said today, it's going to continue to get harder for us in this hobby. It's going to continue to get harder. If there's, what I will say is, if there is a figure that is in stock that you were thinking about playing the long game on it, I probably wouldn't. If you're, and here's the thing, like, am I saying a figure that you would have waited till to Ollie's to get? No, because that figure that you're waiting to Ollie's, you probably didn't really want anyway. You're just like, if I get it, I get it. But if there are times where I'm like, oh, I really want to get this thing, but I'm going to wait it out and just see. You may not want to do that because it may stay where it's at price wise, especially if these companies are experiencing inventory shortages. They're going to be less likely to put things on clearance and on sale because they rather have a full peg and give you the appearance of stock than put it on sale, sell it, and not have anything to put on that space. Optically, it doesn't look good. It never looks good when you go to a store, the shelves are empty. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And sadly, I just feel like we haven't seen the worst of it. Even though the number has come down, it's still higher than previously. And that doesn't get talked about. But, we'll see. I think Ramen Toys made a statement the other day, and then I'll get to the comments. Can I not spell ramen? I know that's Roman. I thought I spelled ramen before. Here we go. I know he was making some comments the other day, but I don't see any post here. So those must have just been stories. Oh, was he on this podcast? Toy Kind of Mood, episode 217. Let's look that up. A Toy Kind Mood. Now, mind you, this is, if he's on this episode, this was 5 weeks ago. Seven days, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, 4 months, 4 months. All right, 3 weeks, 1 month. Wasn't it like 5 weeks ago it said? Terror Dog. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's see if it's something he talks about.
We're collecting, Yeah. So it's like, it's.
Then again, somebody's correcting me that they might also be wiping that out really soon. So until it really affects us, it doesn't affect us in that sense, right? It's like you don't really.
What I do like about Fresh Monkey, and they're working with Big Bad Workshop on this, but they are fans. We've had them on the show before. They are fans of figures just like Ace and Patrick. They make toys, but they love toys too. And it's like they just like, no way. People are already complaining about $40 Monster Force, and those, I think those pack out well. at a $35 price tag. And then so for this 5 POA with hardly any, no, there's no way they could do it. So they had to cancel, and we'll get into tariffs in a second. But yeah, I mean, how did this make you feel, Patrick? Did you saw this news?
It broke my heart. I wanted my translucent tick, and I wanted my Arthur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it last week, but we're getting the 112 tick. Is that make you happy?
Not so much. I mean, so I wanted to.
Some of these are friends at Savage Crucible and these other places, but you don't seem that affected by it. Is there a moment to pause and say, hey, we're not going to stop doing this for now, or are you just, I don't know, talk to us about this.
I think there's always gonna be. It's always gonna be good if we just think about what's going on in our environment, because again, the world does not revolve around us, but the world is revolving. So obviously, you see that this is happening. Whether or not it affects us at the moment, we don't know yet because we do not ship in large containers. There is already some evidence that we know. I mean, there's evidence, obviously, but what's close to us, right? So there's some evidence of increase in prices, but still unsure how they calculate it, because I'm seeing some videos about, let's say, for example, if you have a container that is $100,000 worth of goods, you're expected to pay $54,000 on that, which now is actually 125,000, because now tariffs is now back up to 125. If you have not got the latest news, so it has gone from 54% to 125%. So does it actually make sense for an importer to import something to the US from China with his goods costing $100,000, and then he has to pay $125,000 more so that he gets himself bankrupt straight away? Or maybe he has millions of dollars in the bank and $125,000 is just a chink on the armor. So we don't know the details, right? So pertaining to us, at the moment, we are hearing that, if the individual order is less than $800 US, it's not affected by the tariff. But then again, somebody is correcting me that they might also be wiping that out really soon.
That's the one I was just talking about. That's the one I was talking about. The $800 value. That was one of the loopholes that a lot of people were using for a long time. That now is closed. It's now closed. Again, this was a month ago at this point.
Still, it really affects us.
Shout out Kenobi. Shout out to Rolando.
Right?
Good to see you.
You don't really know that fire hurts until you touch it. That sort of thing. So in that sense, my stand is just to be cautious in terms of our production. We are a company that is really is integral, that we have people buying our products. Otherwise, we do not have the income and the revenue to carry on the next product, the next project of R&D. At the meantime, like I was saying, normally for us, the first and second quarter of the year is always R&D, and we start shipping normally on the third and fourth quarter. That's been the cycle of Ramen Toy thus far. So as the current situation is affecting the second quarter, we don't really feel it yet until maybe the third quarter. If it still persists, who knows, right? We'll have to see. We have heard about, the TikTok ban, and then it got reversed the next day, that sort of thing. So again, we really have to just be, don't panic. Things will happen. Even if it happens, there's a chance for us to put on the brakes and see what we can do. For example, if the goods arrive at the US port and the tariffs are supposed to be paid, if you don't pay it, it just means it gets held at the port. So it's still there. There might be a delay to getting the goods to your customers. Maybe at the end of the day, when everything the dust settles, it's reduced, and then it can be released. Then you can get the goods to your customers without paying any tariffs. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? So
this is. The reason I love this is what I was saying before, and I feel like I just got the cosign that I'm not crazy, that I'm not crazy, because I told you guys, weeks ago, I used to do import export. It's just been a long time. It's been over a decade at this point. But I used to do, this was my job. So he's right by the concepts here, but he has to remain optimistic. He's a business owner. And ultimately, for everybody involved, these are now added stresses you didn't have before. So if you're a small business, you've been doing the toy stuff, you've been doing anything, you're probably operating at a pretty slim margin. You're probably at a slim margin. But going back to the initial conversation here, if Walmart's saying they can't absorb the stuff, these people ain't absorbing it either. Them's the breaks. The last video I'm going to show you guys comes from Toy Snowman, and this was something I didn't even know this was a scenario. I did not know it was a scenario. I ended up watching some more videos from other industries, and it is a thing. This is a thing. So we're going to check out what Toy Snowman said. This is something that set me off this weekend, to the extent that I made a post, and I was very angry in the posts. But these companies, these are the people that we root for. These are the toy manufacturers. These are the toy sellers we root for. They buy wholesale from the manufacturer. So in the case of Toy Snowman, he has a deal with Hasbro. So he orders cases of stuff. He sells it to us for cost. These are the alternatives. These kinds of businesses are the alternatives to a Walmart, to a Target that are out there. Bits and Buttons in Florida, they have a deal with Hasbro. If you guys didn't know that. So that's why, like, if you went to bitsandbuttons.com, if you went to the store, you'll see Marvel Legends, you'll see wrestling figures, and they're the same prices that you would see at a Target or at a Walmart, because they have deals with the manufacturers. But in having those deals, they still have to upfront the money to get the product. Trucking, shipping, tariff, broker, etc. The scenario that he's about to say here, I had no idea about. Zero. But again, this is one of the good guys. And one of the people he's one of the guys that gets screwed over by all this. He's not even in the United States. Not even in the United States.
Update video with a bunch of stuff. Ooh, look at that hair. So our update is, I just have a bunch of few things I want to talk about. It's like about tariffs. I'm reading off my little script here. So tariffs, the shipping strike, buying collections, some returns, and some local delivery, I guess, that we're doing. I can't read my own handwriting, so I'm just gonna make it up as we go. So I guess the big one is, tariffs, right? So tariffs, I guess we'll make an update. So for those who don't know, Bandai ships from the US because...
Actually, I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick, about your pet emergency. You're just in time, though, because we're talking about Bandai and import of Bandai.
Their main distributor is Bandai Namco, which was originally a company called
Good to see you, Man Collects.
Bandai absorbed them. And so they have the rights for all Bandai products that sell in North America. So even the Canadian distributor for Bandai here in Canada buys from Bandai North America, because everybody, if you want to buy Bandai products, has to buy it from the official Bandai distributor in North America, which is Bluefin / Bandai Namco North America. Which means that if there's tariffs, Japanese goods, and they come over to North America, they have to go to the US first, which there's a tariff, which means us here in Canada, means our Bandai products will be tariffed. So a long way of saying is that we've taken off all pre-orders for Bandai off our website, and we're just going to wait and see. So if you have your order in, that's fine. Nothing's going to change. Whatever you paid is what you paid. We're not going to charge you more or do something weird like that.
Which means he's eating it.
We'll just absorb it and, have that placed in. But we're not taking any more new pre-orders for Bandai, just because we don't know the situation when those products arrive, and we don't want to take a bigger loss than already that's happening. Which is going to be a theme for this video, because we're taking a lot of L's right now. So that's all. So you'll notice on our website, no Bandai pre-orders, and we're probably not going to take any new pre-orders. We do plan on ordering everything, but we want to see what our final cost is, so we're just not gonna take pre-orders for those products. Everything else is more or less the same. Nothing.
I actually want to cry right now. Truly. This is like textbook definition of catching strays. And I see that the viewers are dropping in this video. It's fine. I like talking about it. You guys know that. This guy doesn't even live here. Toy Store Man and his store, it's in Canada. And what is happening is screwing them over too. Because I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. I assumed if you're buying from another country and you're going to Canada, it goes straight from country 1 to country 2. Didn't even factor in that there's a possibility that things go from country 1 to country 2 to country 3 to final destination. In this case, it's a 1 to 2 to 3. So he gets hit on tariffs 2 different times. This is what I'm talking about, right? Like when everybody makes these videos, bashing, a Hasbro, bashing a Super 7, they have more money at their dispense that they can use to absorb stuff. But now you get an example of somebody who is also running a company, and there's no other person in between us here. It's A and B, and you're seeing how it's affecting him. You see how this stuff, what's happening now, could destroy him. Literally could. Didn't even vote for the man because he doesn't have the ability to vote for the man, but he's getting screwed over. So I don't know, that it's this story, it will continue to be talked about on the channel, and I understand that there's a lot of people here that hate when I talk about it, but it's directly tied. I cannot not talk about it. It's just the reality of the situation. Just like I talked about the movie. Did I talk about the movie thing, or did I just post about it? The 100% tariff of movies. Probably not going to happen, to be honest, in my opinion. But this one is what we do. All of us sit here and we spend grocery money on fun pieces of plastic that bring us joy. And somebody was out there and designed. Man Collects, I didn't even do this on purpose. I'm literally holding a McFarlane figure. And you know how I feel about McFarlane. But Chris, if you're still in the chat, have you unboxed this one? Let me know your thoughts. But this is why I talk about it. This is why I talk about the tariff stuff. You still got to open that one. Yeah. This is why I talk about the tariff stuff, because a lot of us enjoy this hobby. It's not a hobby that we want to stop. And the tariff stuff is way beyond the toys. But this is not what we don't talk about non-nerdy things on the channel. That's not really what we do. But we're tying this real life thing to something that brings us joy. Like Todd is not going to be able to eat the tariffs on this kind of stuff for a long time. So maybe the perfect Superman figure will come out soon enough. But if the tariffs are too high, I won't get it. And another company that we've not heard from when it comes to this stuff is NECA. I'm really curious about that. Because I bought this figure. This is a year old at this point. I wanted it for Christmas. Didn't happen. Got it now. Absolutely love it. I give NECA a lot of crap from time to time. And every time I get a NECA figure, I love it. Tatsu being one of those that just didn't quite work out for me. But this dinosaur, this Earl figure here, I love it. And NECA has already been going through problems. We know it. Gargoyles line, done. Dinosaurs line, I don't see any other dinosaur figures. I don't even think people want other dinosaur figures. We got 3 figures done. Pee Wee Herman, we got the 1 figure, probably done after that. I don't know what their margins are. There's no way they're going to be able to eat these costs, and they're probably already on the ropes when it comes to some of these things. So what does happen here, if I'm going to be an optimist, depending on what side of the fence you're on, one of the arguments people have, especially economists that tend to be left-leaning, is these are bad scenarios because as companies start to suffer, the larger companies now have a chance to come in and scoop up all these smaller companies to make themselves even more bloated than before. So if we're talking about Hasbro, for example, if Super 7's on the fence, which Super 7 signed a deal with Hasbro last year, right? Because they have the Power Ranger figures. We saw those on the website. We saw the G.I. Joe page action figures on the web, or the reaction figures, right? So a company like Hasbro right now, if Super 7's on the ropes bad enough, be like, yo, I know we have a license deal right now. How about we just buy you? Call it a day. A company like NECA, you guys are really good at the likenesses of some of these figures. How about we acquire you guys? We'll just be an umbrella company to you. Keep the name. Keep your little office down there in New Jersey. But now you pay us to exist. And that's another thing that happens. So let's see how long some of these companies last on their own. But it's shitty. It is absolutely shitty. Absolutely shitty. And with Super 7 letting go of their sculptors, if I'm like a Hasbro, again, to that point, I'm hitting them up like, yo, need a job? I'll give you this pay. It's a lot lower than paying the other artists I currently have on payroll, but I'm gonna give you this option. What's your other option? You got nothing? Take it or leave it. Scumbag behavior. Scumbag behavior comes in times like this. So there's layers to the game, and that's what I try to explain here on the channel, and I hope you guys appreciate it from time to time that we talk about this stuff. Yeah, Chris, open the figure. I'm slacking. My pile of openers is now taller than me. You and JB. JB's got a pile. Seth has a pile down in Florida. Yeah, but you know, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna give this Superman figure the honor of my definitive. I am curious though if anyone has taken the head off of this one to put the Christopher Reeve, if the skin tones match at all. I know it's a similar body from what I saw, but it's a good one. I was hesitant when I bought it, but upon opening this figure, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. Patrick said, tariff talk is inevitable. Content on most... sorry. Oh, you did have a comment there. Tariff talk is inevitable. Content on most channels probably aren't ready for the month or two dry season of figures arriving. To spin up container shipments full of diverted figures at a new price will be the new thing to watch for. That's what I was talking about earlier. See, we're on the same page. You weren't even here and we were talking about it in a good way. Like, I know I'm not talking crazy that you were mentioning what I mentioned before. There are other pieces to the puzzle that is logistics. People are focused on the tariff stuff, but considering a 90-day window, there's a huge rush happening right now coming out of Asia. You want your HasLab on the shipment? You're gonna have to pay extra. That's how that works. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. That's gonna be a long clip on the channel, but I'll make it. Any last things that you guys wanted to talk about before we wrap today's episode? I'm just going to refresh Instagram real quick to see if I missed any late. Oh, that sucks. Here you go. Jodan Baker passed away. Yep, GoldenEye, Mars Attacks, Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Shout out to ICCC Con this weekend in Nashville. It's gonna be a fun show. Kenobi's actually, I believe you're going to that show, unless things have changed. Kenobi should be there this weekend. I think Nilda's going as well. Tony should be going to that one. So if you guys are going to ICCC Con, definitely tag us in some photos if you can. Oh, look at that. Yo, that's the enemy hug, though. That's that hug of like, I'm giving you props, but now I acknowledge you. Wrapping back around to box office recap. Do you guys think Sinners beats out Mission Impossible? Is that happening? Is that happening? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's go to the numbers here. Let's go to numbers, and then we're gonna come back to talk about something else that I just saw before we wrap today's episode. Let's turn off the year. Let's go to franchise. Historically, I would say it would beat it. Historically, I would say it would beat it. But here's the thing. Historically, an MCU movie would also beat out Sinners. And that's not happening. Ooh, that's a fun one. That's a fun conversation right there. Will Mission Impossible defeat Sinners? Is there a projected opening, actually? Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I can't even make a prediction on this, in my opinion. Like I've predicted the gross between 175 and 225 million at the domestic, with a pinpoint prediction of 205. Yo, that would be crazy. That would be crazy if Sinners beats out Mission Impossible this weekend. That would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. I'll take that bet. I would take that bet that it beats it. I will take the that Sinners beats Mission Impossible. I'll take that bet. One thing that I forgot to talk about, because literally the whole world forgot about this TV show. Ironheart, we got the trailer to that this week. Finally, TV show comes out in just over a month, June 24th. What they have done, I believe, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, is last minute added Ryan Coogler as an executive producer on the show. He didn't direct Black Panther 3. Ironheart, though, was in Black Panther 3. He may have an executive producer credit on Black Panther 3. Let's just look it up. I don't know why I'm speculating. Let's see. Ryan. Podcasts. Did he direct it? He directed it. Okay, so he I forget that he did that one. So Black Panther 3 brings in Riri Williams, so he probably gets an executive producer credit just because on that one. Did he direct this one? No. So I feel like it was a PR move, personally, to put him as an executive producer on the Ironheart TV show because it's not trending very well. But they've also not been promoting it. So we'll see. But trailer dropped. It was okay. But I think it's part of the larger issue of superhero stuff. Not indicative of it not looking like a good TV show. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man didn't look good either out of the gate, and then they came out and it was great. So fingers crossed. But I think the Ryan Coogler thing, him being plastered over it now, is a PR move, in my opinion. But we'll see. We shall see. Great episode. A great episode. I don't think I'll be able to stream this weekend. Doing some more work, which is exciting. I really want to do the multi-day stream thing, but it's hard. It's hard to do and have a life. Truly. I don't know how some of you guys do it. But if I can figure it out, I will give it a shot. I will give it a shot. Kills me. This shit kills me every time. The Hot Toys stuff. Every time. Look at this thing. Oof. Yeah, that's fucking good. That's good. It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without you. I miss Batfleck. What could have been? Oh, what could have been if they didn't screw it up. If they didn't screw it up. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. If I can, we will stream other days of the week as well. We had a huge bump in podcast downloads last week, actually. So thank you to all of you newer listeners. Thank you so much. That was awesome to see. Come over to YouTube if you're just listening. The water's fine. The water's fine. But I hope some of you appreciate the fact that there were no commercials in this episode because it is no longer there's no longer ads on the live until it's on the replay. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Ghostbusters Day coming up in a couple weeks. Gonna be down there filming. Will be a good time. Toolsandtalentprops.com. Use code HeyArcher, save yourself 15%. And of course, hit up nerdaffiliated.com. Get some sweet, sweet merch. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. VR Troopers are on Tubi today. Shout out to Steve. I'm out of here.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.